Longlegs is commonly referred to as the pinnacle of modern day horror, and it's not hard to see why, especially with a gripping story and bone-chilling frights. And so, without further ado, allow me to give you a rundown of the film and review the core components. Though before I do so, if you could take a moment to subscribe to my channel, that would be very much appreciated. The film commences with a rather odd encounter between a little girl and a freaky looking man, though this is short-lived with a cut to a title card. The film then focuses on Lee Harker, an FBI agent who was assigned a partner named Fisk. The two are an awkward duo, yet are on the hunt for clues. The two walk up to a house to which Fisk is promptly shot. Lee enters the house and apprehends a suspect. The following scene is Lee undertaking a test, which measures her psychic abilities, to which it is revealed that she is half psychic. Lee is then put on a case with Carter and Browning, and is tasked with figuring out why a whole host of violent fathers have killed their families and then themselves, with each household having a daughter born on the 14th and each having a letter by none other than Longlegs. Lee sifts through the information provided, yet she seems not to find all that much, though such dramatic deaths require rest, which is why Carter takes Lee out and the two discuss theories surrounding Longlegs. Lee is invited into Carter's house, a kind gesture which results with Lee interacting with Carter's daughter, that being Ruby, to which she is invited to Ruby's birthday. In the next scene, Lee is at home and in the midst of a call with her mum, though this is short-lived as someone comes knocking on her door. She goes outside to check who the mystery man is, though she finds nothing. However, upon returning, there's a letter on her desk, and it can be seen in the background that a man had actually entered her house. She then decodes the letter to uncover a threat, a not so nice message. The following scene is her being called to the next Longlegs crime, to which the entire family had been murdered by the father. Lee decodes the letter at the crime scene with the help of a cipher that was all thanks to the letter she had gotten the day prior. However, due to the threat, she is unable to tell her boss how she was able to do so. This newfound knowledge causes Lee to uncover that the murders all took place 1 to 6 days prior or post their daughter's birthday, which reveals an algorithm and an upcoming murder. The letters also mention of a girl from the Camera family who was an outlier in these murders, as she was in school when her father had enacted the crime, meaning that she was able to escape her death. Carter and Lee head to the Camera family's abandoned farm to follow a path to a barn, to which they find a doll of Camera, with it emitting rather odd noises, with the sound giving way to Longlegs building the doll in his basement. Talking about Longlegs, the following scene causes him to be the primary focus. He enters a hardware store, to which you can clearly tell he is out of his mind with such odd sounds. Not only that, but the erratic screaming on the way home. The scene shifts to the agents visiting Karina Camera, who had been held in a mental facility ever since her dad had gone crazy. The facility manager states that Camera had been idle for the past 8 years, but following a visit from someone claiming to be Harker, they started acting out. Harker visits Karine, to which Karine claims that she doesn't remember anything since her family died, but she is able to recount the events prior. The topic then changes to Karina's visitor, to which she states that she has much affinity for the man that had visited her yesterday. Connections between Harker and Longlegs start popping up, with it being revealed that Harker was the girl in the intro, with it taking place a day prior to her 9th birthday, with her birthday being on the 14th of the month, with this info having been in a police file due to her mum having reported a trespasser. Harker has no memory of the incident, so she heads home to discuss the events with her mum, though she doesn't remember a thing, but her mum does permit Parker to go through her childhood possessions. Harker then goes through a chest, to which she finds a Polaroid of Longlegs, which triggers a flashback of Longlegs, to which he is singing rather oddly whilst Lee's mum confronts him. Lee then provides a photo to Carter, to which the FBI tracks down Longlegs. Longlegs is revealed to be a doll maker, which explains the doll from before, and he is swiftly taken into custody, though the agents have no evidence to tie him into the crimes. Harker, seeing that today is the day that Longlegs was to commit another murder, is adamant on talking to Longlegs, with Carter granting her access. The interaction between the two is rather odd, that being until Longlegs clues Lee into asking her mum about the upcoming murder, to which he kills himself by smashing his head into the table. The next part of the movie commences with Carrie Ann Camera having killed herself. Carter thinks the whole murder spectacle has concluded, though Lee can't read the words that Longlegs had told her about her mum, and so Lee and Agent Browning go take in Harker's mum for questioning. Upon arrival, Browning is killed by Lee's mum, though Lee pulls a gun out on her, to which he finds a life-size lookalike doll of her younger self. Lee's mum aims her gun at the Lee Harker life-size doll and blasts her head off, to which this causes Lee to be knocked to the ground, to which it is revealed that the metal ball inside the doll had been torn to pieces, with a mist fading into the sky. Lee, having been passed out, causes a scene where Lee's mother narrates what has happened following Longlegs' first encounter, to which she admits that she had assisted Longlegs, with her being tasked to give out the lifelike dolls with the spirit of a devil inhabiting it, with the spirit ultimately causing the corruption of her family, and as a result the murders, with Lee's mum having to watch every murderous ordeal, with her doing this all for the sake of keeping her daughter safe. Furthermore, it is revealed that Longlegs' basement workshop was residing in her old home, to which she takes up a call from Longlegs, which tasks her in showing up at Ruby's birthday. Now, if you don't remember, Ruby is Carter's daughter that we met earlier. Harker drives there whilst mirroring the mannerisms of Longlegs. Harker enters the house, to which she finds her mother already seated in Carter's home, to which a life-size doll of Carter's daughter is already affecting her family, with this being evident when Carter kills his wife off-screen in the kitchen. When Carter returns to kill his daughter, Harker kills him, to which Lee then kills her mum, so that her mum does not kill Ruby, to which Harker carries out Ruby, resulting in the film concluding. Now that the summary is out of the way, let me say what I liked and I didn't like all that much. Let's start off with what the film does well, that being that the film is cohesive. The shift from the detective aspects to that of the devil-based elements is very well done, and although some people may not appreciate the supernatural approach, one shouldn't forgo how the culmination of the two makes for an intriguing plot. Moreover, even though the Satanist aspects are quite shallow, in the sense that there's not all that much rhyme or reason behind the devil, I believe that it makes the satanic aspects all that more entertaining, and this fault is ultimately used as an advantage. Something that I also must bring to attention is Nicolas Cage's performance as Longlegs. It is impeccable, and I'm not one to comment on acting, as I tend to focus solely on the plot, but the out-of-touch reactions and the incorporation of music really allows Longlegs as a character to shine through and hones in on the whole cursed perspective. My final piece of praise is the use of horror tropes. The film is a one-film art piece, to which other films of a nature capitalize on cheap jump scares or absurdity, whereas this film was scary due to the genuine performance and the slow unveiling of a mystery, that being a more well-rounded approach, with the horror being rather tasteful, as Longlegs is the traditional big bad, though without the extra baggage. Now, as for what I didn't like all that much, the first is that the death of Carter's wife could have been completely avoided. After all, Lee knew that Carter was going to kill her, and she did nothing about it, to which I believe is contrary to her usual aware self, especially since she is quick to withdraw when killing her own mum, so this inaction can't really be explained. Moreover, the previously mentioned shallowness of the whole devil aspect, although well executed, is still not a complete overhaul for the lack of backing. This is furthered when the audience queries as to why the Harker family was subject to the devil. This wasn't written in and was not accounted for, but I suppose that it could be due to the chaotic and sporadic association between the devil and evil, though in saying that, this is counteracted by the orchestrated attacks on the families, as it seems counterintuitive to the whole chaotic nature, especially the construction of the dolls. In extension, I have troubles with the contract with Lee's mother and that of the devil, as Lee's mother lunges towards Ruby in an attempt to finish a deal, though she isn't entirely sure what that deal is, and if Ruby must die, though she does so assuming that the contract states that she must kill Ruby, though this is never cleared up, and if you're making a deal with the devil, I'm sure that you are to know all the fine print. And due to her not being sure that she needed to do this, the ambiguity is not well received by the audience. After all, with Longlegs dead, why wouldn't Lee's mother cease to act and turf for dolls, and so that the devil spirit would no longer infect the families, as the devil seems to not be able to act directly, and instead carries out its bidding through human vessels, meaning that they would be unable to interfere with Harker and her life anymore, though Harker's mother still carries it out, with such actions being unexplained, with the only feasible explanation being that she had gone crazy or had been infected by the smog to some extent. But again, this is never mentioned or resolved, this ambiguity not being solely beneficial, as it could be viewed as poor writing, with the whole devil aspect aiming to amp up the chaos without putting in the effort to flesh it out, even though it was admitted to being intentional. Longlegs is an intriguing film and is deserving of its praise, which is why I'm rating the film a 6 out of 10. And with that, today's video will conclude. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed. Have a good night.